This section is for the people who receive the controller with the Devo F4, and that's only with people with Devo F4 controller. Before we open up, you need a few items. You need a memory card, a micro SD memory card. You need to be 16 gigabyte and under. 4 AA batteries for the controllers, double-sided tape, and also a cutter. Okay, let's open up. Be very careful. When you pull this controller out, there is a battery right inside on the bottom portion of it, and make sure that you don't drop these batteries. This battery is only for use with the camera and transmitter only, which is just a couple items. Okay, let's open up the battery packs. And the battery packs is a rechargeable lithium battery pack. You can use the same charger from the quadcopters that come with the quadcopters, so you can charge it up. Now make sure that you charge one battery at a time. Do not charge this battery and the quadcopter battery all together. That will burn out your controller, the charger. So charge one at a time. And before we go on further, I left out, when you plug this to the wall and you charge, you plug this into the smaller sockets. Again, the red light begins to flash, and when the flash stops, it becomes solid. That means the battery is fully charged. The transmitter is this one right here. It's TX5803, and then the camera is the Devo DV04. And let's get this transmitter out. This is the controller, and then you have a little wire, and this is the only wire you need for the package. If you have any other wires with the box that come with, you don't need to use any of those wires. Only this wire is the one that needed for this package. Now let's talk about the controller camera first. So let's open up the cable. So in order to connect the wires to the transmitters and the cameras, you don't need this little wires. This is for another controller, F7. So just real simple. As you can see, the wire on this side that has white, yellow, blue, black, and red. Okay, this portion of the wire goes to the camera side, and it's all color coded. There's nothing you can go wrong on this. Put the connector in. Again, double check. White, yellow on both sides, blue, black, and red. Real simple. And then the other portion of this side is also color coded. That goes to the transmitters. Now you notice there's one wire missing. It's the blue. So you don't need that wires. So now let's plug this in. So now you have white, yellow, black, and red. So that portion is going to the transmitter side. And then there's a little coming out connectors. This is where you connect the batteries to it. And notice this white connector has no use. Absolutely no use. And then if you have other cable that come with the package, and those are also no use if you have the F4 controller. So in order to power it, you can see, plug this in. Once you plug in, you notice the light turns on for the cameras, and if you look at the back of the transmitter, there's a light turns on. So that means both are in sync and power itself out with the battery packs. Now the camera has the side of the camera. That's where you insert the micro SD card, and you'll hear the click sounds. If you insert the wrong side, it won't go in. So don't force it. So only one side. And then in order to record, there's a red button. So once you put it in, and then you press one time on the red button, it will start the recordings. To mount the cameras, this is your facing right side up. The camera head's able to pivot up and down. That's how the position of the camera is to mount on the quadcopters. Let's put this aside and then let's talk more about the controller first before we mount this into the quadcopters. That's where you need the double-sided tape. Now the controller requires 4 AA batteries. So let's go back to the controller side. This is your holders. So you insert the 4 AA battery inside. Make sure you put them in the right positions on where the batteries insert. And then pressing the connectors to the socket first. And then now just drop it in the battery holders and close it. Turning on the controller, open up the hoods, and then there's a power button right here. This is the power on and off. You have 4 trimming knobs for you to trim the cyclics and the throttles and yaw control. So this is your up and down control. This is your throttle, and then left and right. This is rotations, yaw control, 360. Forward, backwards, pitch left, and pitch right. This is your cyclic control for the quadcopters. Let's turn this on. Now, when you turn this on, you can see I can turn on the camera. The camera is already plugged in. So if you turn this on, you should see the screen begin to lit up and initializing. And notice I'm not doing anything to my quadcopter yet. This is just to show you the camera and the connections of the cameras. So now you can able to see it's set it to the control. Sometimes it might not set to the controller, so you might have to play around with the dip switch. This is the dip switch is to set the frequency to the receivers. So refer to the instruction manual for the Devo 4F F4 on my website. There's a full PDF instruction documents on my website to show you how to set the channels for the transmitters. I think it's on page 54 or 55, the last few page of the PDF files. So this is how you connect and sync with the controller and the radio. Now you have to turn this off again if you want to sync with the control of the quadcopters. So let's turn this off, and then you can turn off the power off the radio and the power off the transmitter. Now if you notice, when we feel the transmitter, it will begin to go pretty hot, warm to hot. That's normal, especially the antenna portion. You can feel it become to get real warm and it begin to get pretty hot. So that's normal to the transmitter while it's working. The camera, you don't feel the heat on it. Let's bring it over here and do some mounting of the cameras. To mount the camera is real simple. We just need to use a couple pieces of the double-sided tape. So cut a portion of the double-sided tape, maybe about 3/4 of an inch. And you can get the tape from Radio Shack, Home Depot, Walmart. It's a double-sided 3M tapes. So put one portion to the back side of the cameras. Now try to put it to the edge of this camera right here, because when you put it in the quadcopters, if you put the battery tape in the front, it's going to go all the way in and it'll interrupt with the batteries of the quadcopters. So go to the edge of this and put the double-sided tape. And then put another double-sided tape to the back side of the transmitters. also about 3/4 of an inch. That will go to the back side of the transmitter. You can make it bigger tape if you wanted to, but that should hold real well with this amount of tape. Now the taping of the transmitter, I normally put it around here. Anywhere around the feet will work. So it's up to you how high you want to mount it. So I mount it here, maybe. So just press on it for a few seconds. That's how you mount the transmitters. And then for the cameras, take out the other side of the double-sided tape. You can mount it right underneath the quadcopters, right around here, this area. Now, some people does purchase a camera mount. So you can use a camera mount before this camera. You can mount on the camera mount. But right now, assuming that you don't have a camera mount, so this mounts right underneath the quadcopters. Now, when you mount this in there, try not to mount it too in again, and try to put them in between these two arms. So when you look at it, the video won't affect by the arms. Again, mount this about, I would say about maybe no more than halfway in. So you have some room for the battery pack in the back where you mount this. So press on it for a few seconds. Press it on the bottom right here. Press it on it for a few seconds. Then that will hold the camera real well. You can see the 3M double-sided can hold the cameras. If I hold the camera, it will hold the quadcopters too. Very strong tapes. Regarding the battery pack, about the so now you have the camera and the transmitter mounted. You wanted to mount the battery, both batteries underneath the quadcopters. So the first one you want to put in is the battery for the quadcopters. So slide in the quadcopter battery packs. And sometimes this is not tight, so you can always tighten it. So by tightening it, it's real simple. Hold on to the battery pack, put this along, and then stress the Velcro. And now pull this Velcro hard. Now don't press your quadcopter down. Press it only onto the Velcro. This will be real tight on this side. And regarding the battery for the camera, so where is the head? The head is right here. So now you can able to mount, plug in, and this will go right underneath the Velcros and before the on top of the other batteries. If it's not tight, again you just take this out. Do the same thing over. Hold on to one side of the Velcro, and then overlap the other side. So this will tighten the battery pack. If you wanted to, you could also put a little strap, maybe another Velcro or maybe another wire tie around the transmitter. If you worry about it fall out, but it shouldn't fall out. It's pretty strong. You can do the same thing. You can put another strap or wire tie if you decided to get it stronger holding. So that's how you mount the battery, and how you mount the cameras, and how you mount the transmitters. Now the remaining portion of the wires, you can just tuck them along, or you can use double-sided tape or Velcro, or even a wire strap, and tie this down along the skids. That will be fine. Or you can just let it dangle. It doesn't really affect the performance. The antenna, make sure that you make it straight. So this is the antenna for transmitting the video signal to the controllers. And now this is ready to power on to fly the quadcopters. And we have batteries to power on the controller. So this is how the setting of the camera and the transmitters to the quadcopters.